Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great. So, first and foremost, welcome back to my channel once again. So, today I have come up with another podcast, and today I have very special guest on my channel for another very wonderful topic, which will be most frequently asked question in an interview, especially if you are appearing for top four firms. So before we begin, let's introduce this beautiful lady and with beautiful smile. And of course, she is Ritika Agarwal, and she is from Janki Devi Memorial College, Delhi University, who has recently gained position in EY GDS. Congratulations, Ritika. And you must be, surprising कि कहाँ मिली मैं इसे. I met her in office on the very first day, and this was very coincidental kind of meet. And let me tell you, she's a gem. And so I was doing the survey, and she was the one who suggested me idea. Ruchi, let's do this way, and let's do one-on-one conversation. So thank you so much, Ritika, for actually coming up and putting up this idea and bringing it into action so soon. So what you have to say about it?
First of all, thank you so much, Ruchi, for having me here. And I'd just like to take a minute and appreciate and give you a huge round of applause for the work you are doing and making the process so smooth for the coming audience. And have I been at this place and seen your channel in my first year? I have really benefited a lot. And I mean, it's not just about joining the organization, it's about meeting the new people as well. And you have been truly that people who I have connected my vibe with. So it's great to be here. Pleasure to be part of.
Thank you so much. Likewise here. Wait.
Your conversation and your...
Wait, is there network issue at my end or at your end?
What happened?
There was a network issue. Wait, I'll just switch my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope I am audible now.
I mean, just, yeah, it's better now. Perfect.
Now it's great. I've changed my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, Ritika. I'm sorry for that disturbance in between. And I'm really glad that you met me that day. So let's officially begin, our podcast. So my very first and important question for you was, how was your recruitment process, like from start to finish? Was it very challenging, or was it very confusing, or was it smooth without any difficulties,
Yeah. So I'll begin with, since I got the opportunity to, get placed in EY because of my career opportunity cell, which is the placement cell of my college, of Janki Devi Memorial College. I think that's how you also got into EY, right?
Yes.
So basically, although communication mechanism used to through the career opportunity cell only. But the one thing which I would like to tell you to the audience is that the process is quite smooth. It's that you need to be prepared for that every time, because once your procedure starts, like once your CV gets into the picture and you have been selected for the next, which is the aptitude test, then you need to be prepared all the time. That because I remember I get the mail for the interview right before one day that I have to appear for the interview the next day. So it was quite challenging for me to put all the things around there. I was quite confused as well that how would it happen, and I was bugging my seniors as well. So I understand that that's a whole procedure which goes into, but the one thing which need to be there is that be prepared all the time. You need to know that what all questions will be asked, maybe all questions you'll be answering to them, and the process is quite smooth. I will just say that enjoy and make sure that you enjoy the whole process, because once you get into the company, you'll see back and you'll see that how hard it was, but it was not. It was just very smooth, very peaceful, I would say.
Yeah, I believe that preparation is the key. You need to be, prepared all the times. You don't know when you are getting the mail for the next day, and you will have less than 24 hours to prepare, and you cannot just, wait for the last moment for things to happen. Oh,
Right.
that was very nice. Okay, now let's move on to the second question. Now that we have entered into the interview room, the very first question your interviewer asks is, tell me about yourself. So, do you find it, to be very challenging? Because personally, I found it very challenging. If I wouldn't have prepared, I would have found a lot on very first question. So, what do you think about that?
Okay, so I think since I've been into internships a lot and I've been into college societies and all, so this is the one question which has been asked to me all the time. So I'll break it down for the audience into three parts. So my approach to answer this question is in three parts. The first part being your name, the city you belong to, or maybe any culturalistic thing which is special in you, and then direct it to the course which you are doing right now. Since I was doing BCom honors from Janti Memorial College, I just said that I'm pursuing BCom honors, which specializes in accounting and other aspects, because accounting is something which is very much aligned to this role. Then the second part of this question answer, I would say, is to direct it to the roles which you have done. Like I have done quite a few internships, but I didn't mention all of them. I just mentioned the one which I felt is very much aligned to this role and can help the interviewer understand that I've done some kind of work which is related to this. And I also mentioned, since I was the president of my entrepreneurship cell college, so I also mentioned that because that is something which is very special in you and which can distinct you from the audience which is being giving interview to the interviewer from the start or from the morning. So they can think about it that, yeah, this person has something different from them, and she can be the one who can takes up the position very well in advance, because a leadership position is very much good in that part. Then the third part of this question would be how this opportunity or how this road would benefit you in future terms. So in 1 to 2 lines, maybe you can definite that how this role is especially useful to you. And you can also say that I'm very much into accounting or auditing. I love doing that, and that's why I wanted to be in this role, and I know for sure that this role would benefit me a lot in my career. So this is my three steps mechanism to answer this question, I would say.
That was a great, great, great approach. I believe everyone has a different approach to answer this. Because what I believe, you need to divide it in like past, present, and future. So this is how I answer my questions generally. So this was another approach that I came across through you. That was very great, let me tell you. And I have a very nice tip that you should be prepared for the very first, question, because that's the point where you can actually prepare and this question will come up. You cannot change this question. So at least be prepared for one question. If nothing else, then this question.
Absolutely, because there are some questions which you need to be prepared for, because you know that they'll be questioning you about it, and you don't have the time at there. Then you think about it, and then you frame it. You need to be prepared, because I know I prepared it for I interviewed myself for 5 times before that my final interview, so that I don't miss up anything which I had in my mind regarding answering this question.
That's great. That's great. Now let's not, stretch this question for the whole podcast. Let's move on to the next question. So I believe interviewer is very, very, very curious to know how will you benefit or how will you prove to be an asset. And in case you don't answer them this particular question indirectly or directly, they will say, okay, you are just, rest of the crowd, like rest of the crowd. So you need to put your point very forward, very straight that, yes, I am different from rest of the crowd and I will prove to be an asset. So how do you think questions will come up regarding this particular area? That you need to say that, yes, sir, I am asset for your company and I am different from rest of the people out there.
Yeah, so the one question I think which comes up into this category is that how would you benefit the company from, by joining the organization, or maybe how the company will be benefited by your role. So the first thing which comes to a fresher's mind is that, how would I say that? Because you don't have a lot of experience, obviously, in your college life. You have like few of internships which you have done, or maybe the internships might be from different fields as well. So the approach to answer this question is to let them know that you're curious about knowing things and you learn things. You have the ability to learn things, grab things, and you are very much spontaneous about doing that. So I was also asked this question. So my approach to answer this question was to know them that I have been into places, I have been into internships which were tough, which was challenging, but I did this thing and I managed to do this at this role. So basically, I was doing an internship with Grovation, where I was supposed to onboard the free clients for the HRCS, which is the consultancy services and which is the paid service, and which is a very challenging task, to be very honest. So I told them the numbers, that how by joining this organization I was able to mark this number from this amount to this amount. So it just shows to the interviewer that how she was challenging enough to make sure that she upgrade to her role, or maybe excel in her role by doing this and this. So I told them that what are initiatives I took in that role to make sure that I achieve that number, and what I had in my mind by doing it. So make sure that you have in my mind that a goal, first of all, that you want to translate it to them, that I had a goal, I was curious about doing such and such things, and what all steps I took. So maybe you can relate to the previous role which you have done in any kind of internship, or maybe if you don't have any kind of a role, I understand that being a fresher, you might not also have a lot of internship experience. So what you can do is to relate to a college experience. So in college, we have a lot of group projects which are assigned to us in the third year, or maybe in the second year as well. So you can assign it to that as well, that I was assigned this role with my team, and I made a goal, I made the action points, what all things I did, and how I was able to achieve it, and what was the comments which was passed by the students or my fellows. So I think that would be my answer to this question.
Very, very nice approach, I believe. And this is very helpful tip, because we always tend to think that group projects are not very important to tell to the interviewer. But let me tell you, this is very important. Once you need to, identify and show your personality and your contribution towards the project. And this is very great tip that you have given me for my PPT as well. Okay. So like I have been doing survey, and I conduct a survey of around 30-40 people, I believe. And what I realized is that interviewer is always, keen to know that how you behave in difficult situations. Because once you enter corporate world, you will be coming up with lots of challenges, especially trainings that we are going through, and multitasking, meeting the deadlines as soon as possible. So behavioral question has become a very important part of your whole interview. So did you come up with any such question in your interview too?
Yeah, I remember one of the questions which was asked to me, that would you be able to, manage the tough deadlines, and would you be able to work long hours? So the one thing which is directed to answer this question is to that, you know the answer to the right answer. You know the right answer, to be very honest. As a human being, when you ask something, you know the right answer. So, I would just say that you need to answer that question in a way that does not look fake to the interviewer first. Because when you're answering it, they have been taking interviews from morning, or maybe from past 3 to 4 years. They know the approach. They know when the interview is actually making things up or not being lying to you. So first approach to answer this question maybe is to be genuine about what you're doing, and be genuine about answering that question. It does not look like that you're forcing it out, you're making things up at that moment. So my approach, when I was asked that would you be able to work for long hours, or maybe overtime, basically. So my approach, since I belong to Delhi, so I just told them that I would be happy to work for long hours as well, and overtime. But if I would be given the opportunity to work from home for that day, basically, when I've been given a lot of work for that day, because it's very difficult for you to travel around and make things up. So that's why I answered it in a way that was helpful for me as well, because I didn't want them to give a bad impression of myself that I won't be able to do works which are for long hours. But yes, I stayed at the point that I will be able to do the work. But if I've been given an opportunity to work from home, or maybe in a flexible schedule, basically. So yeah.
Okay, so that's great, because I also came across similar question. So my interviewer asked me like, are you okay with doing multitasking? So I actually gave my real life example that I am doing BCom honors degree, and I also doing, ACCA. Along with it, I have a startup, small startup. So you can imagine the level of multitasking that I'm doing each day. Kehta, oh, great. So that's how you actually need to impress through the real life examples too. Nothing is small or big, that how can I actually impress, but that's not the point to impress. That's you point, you are just putting your points forward. That's most important in this particular kind of questions, I believe.
So I think the key to answer this question is to actually relate it to your previous experience which you have been into, so that it gives them a flat place to the interviewer that yes, you have done this thing in the past, and you'll be able to forward it as well in the role.
Exactly. So before we move forward, okay, I would like to have a very quick question with you. It's like, if I'll give you 100, questions, sample questions for your interview regarding behavioral, future, Excel, audit, accounting. So do you think it would be very helpful for you or not? So
it would be really helpful for me, I would say that, because while I was getting in place for this interview, I was very confused that what all questions they can answer, they can ask me, and how can be the approach to answer that question. So I was figuring out a lot, and while in that moment you worry a lot, and in that anxiety you miss out a lot of stuff. So having that whole kind of thing in front of me would have really helped me figuring out that what all questions can be asked to me and how can be my approach to answer them. And especially about the behavioral questions, because you can really answer the generic questions in a way that which is appealing to the interviewer, but for the behavioral questions you need to be prepared from first. And for the behavioral questions you need to know at least questions at the first, because then you can frame the answers for them and do not look very falsify at the time of the interview, I would say.
Yeah, and I also believe that it's like when you are, interviewing for the audit profile, you are very confused what to revise. 11th ki accounts revise karu, 12th ki karu, BCom honors karu, at what level? Because interviewer is actually interested in your basics, so he might ask you 11th class questions too. So that's how I created 100 questions. And in case if any of my audience is interested, you can just mail me once and you can buy these questions and crack your interview. Okay, enough of my advertisement and promotions. Let's move on to the next question. Also, I have noticed during my survey that, interview is not just asking the present or the past, also they are interested in your future. What do you think about future? Like they may also end up asking your robotics, how robotics will play important role, or where you see yourself in next 5 years. So the future approach, the vision that you have is also important in your interview. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so the one thing which is the key to answer this question is to make them sure that you are not changing the roles, for sure, first being, and second being your vision about the company maybe. So you can answer it in a way that I would be happy to, like, since you have joined as an assurance associate, so right, and after a position you might not be doing a lot of stuff, right, as an assurance associate, like meeting the clients and directly having a conversation with them in terms of booking it out. So you can answer it in a way that I would be happy to, gradually upwards this role, or maybe progress at this role by taking up more challenging projects, or maybe taking up more clients my way, and how to deal with clients, or maybe at a managerial position. So you can always direct the answer in a way that I would be happy to stay in this organization first of all, or maybe if you're not saying it loudly that I would like to have it in this organization only, then just say that I would be happy to take up roles which are very much advanced and involves meetings and actually booking the clients in first place. So I think that would be the approach to answer this question.
And that's very nice approach. And okay, I cannot actually remember that question I just came across. But okay, any additional tips that you could actually, additional question that you would like to tell audience that yes, you need to be prepared, or these are the sort of questions that you can come across?
Okay, so the first question which I think is being asked and is generic as well is about your strengths and weaknesses, because they want to know that do you know about your strengths, because there have been times when people say that I don't have any strengths, while they have a lot of them. And while in the weakness part, they just say that I don't have any weakness, I'm a perfectionist and all that stuff. That does not happen, to be very honest. You all have a little bit of weakness around here and there. And somebody in the audience might will say that, oh, I only have weaknesses, I don't have any strengths. So that's not the point. You need to figure it out right before the interview, that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how to answer them properly so that it does not look very much over the top to the interview he's asking this question. And this should be answered very, very formally, very generically, so that the flow of the interview goes forward. And the second thing I would say that while at the time of my interview, I just remember that my interview asked me a lot of times that, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me? So I would just say that don't say no to them, because I remember I sat in the interview. I had a quick round of introduction by saying that, tell me about yourself. And then he just asked me that, do you have any questions for me? So I just politely said them that I would like to, I have a lot of them. I would like to have them right after my interview. So I just gave them a place to the interview that I have questions, but I want to answer them right after my interview, not right below, not right in between the situations.
Yeah.
But still my interview asked me 2 to 3 questions between 2 to 3 times between my interview as well. So so the questions which I asked my interviewer was that what all things which you advise to a fresher to success at this role. And he was very impressed by this question, that he says that, a lot of I had been taking a lot of interviews, but you were the only one who was asking this question to me, that would you be success at this role. So my approach to answer ask this question was to make them understand that I'm really willing to get at this role and work and excel at this role as well. So there have been approaches when you ask the questions as well. So the kind of questions which you ask, you don't ask them that what is my salary, what would be my working hours. That would just piss the interviewer a lot. Yeah, so that will just piss the interviewer a lot. So you need to answer correct answer. And I think Ruchi would also agree to that fact that EY has the policy, not a policy, but as an approach kind of a thing, where they says that right questions, right answers, and the right way to live with the world, something like that, which they have been making us understand from the first day. Ask better. So the approach is ask better questions, ask better answers, and you'll get better answers, and the world will become better. Something like that. They have it in their place. So I would just say to the audience that ask better questions at first, because you need to know that what needs to be asked. There have been times where people would ask very silly questions, and because of that one silly question, your interview can go very down. Although your answers are very nice, but your one question can make the whole interview go down in a minute. Exactly. So be prepared is the key. Get prepared.
Also, I have noticed one common error whenever the interviewer asks you where you see yourself in next 5 years. Few of the people just say in your place. So this is very, bad answer. Let me tell you, you are trying to replace them. That's the worst thing that you can do. You can answer them that I would like to be a part of top management, but do not ever try to replace them. They will just, barge you out. So it's like something to ignore and avoid. That's the main thing that I need to say. So that
interview is right.
You're right. It's okay.
Yeah, so I was just saying, so just continuing your point, some interviews might take it as a joke that, yeah, I would love to have you in my place and I would take the other position, the big position. But some interviews might get it turned off because of this one question. So I would just say that, first of all, make fun. I mean, while doing the whole process, I mean, be enjoyful and don't take this as very seriously, and don't try to make sure that you are very confused regarding each and everything. Try to be calm yourself and process things up in a very nice way. And I hope this interview have given you some kind of, I mean, that place to, I mean, make yourself front up in the interview and come up with a good answers.
And the last part I would like to say is, like, even if you get rejected, consider it to be a mock interview. Consider it to be another practice for yourself. Don't get, disheartened that I didn't get selected, my friend got selected. So that's something, new opportunities will come. You are just 20 or 21 maximum. And there's a huge platform out there that you can actually perform. So consider it to be an opportunity rather, failure. So that's a golden tip that just came across my mind. So that's it for this particular podcast. And of course, I will be having you, guest for another podcast for sure. And we will be discussing much more in detail about technical interview. So thank you so much, Ritika, for agreeing to be my guest. And especially, you didn't even ask me once your number of subscribers or views. You just came and had such a great interview with me. Thank you so much. How was your experience?
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Ruchi, first of all, for inviting me there. I was so excited to be part of it. And I was like, let's just help the other students, because I was confused at the first place. And I really want to help the other people out there who is coming or maybe joining us in the next batch. So kudos to the audience, kudos to you, basically, who is doing all such good things for the audience. And my experience was pretty great. I mean, the questions which you asked me is good. In fact, I was, having like a phase that I'm having a mini interview right today, because I remember I had this interview right around this place only. In August only we had the interviews for EY. So it just kind of a nostalgia of a mini interview which I had today with you.
That's great. Thank you so much. And at the end of the day, thank you, audience, for actually watching this. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's very important. Don't just take tips and go away. Go and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day. Bye-bye. All the best.